know that we are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that. Oh, yeah. Pass that like button. Good morning. Hey, good afternoon. I was supposed to come on, but Empress went on and I wanted to watch it because I know I was going to be laughing. She is the best. I was over there dying, but I knew I had to get my butt back over there, go live. I was going to go live originally the same time as her and didn't even know it, but I said I'd wait an hour because I knew I wanted to laugh. Empress over. She funny. Hi, Karma Sweet, Straight Smoke. I am NBMBR. These names, y'all be killing me. Anthony Lowe, Can't Touch This, Lies Unplugged. Verica, Eagle Eye. Hey, what's good? And everybody watching. Whoa. Everybody watching. I know a lot of people from all over is looking for this segment. Because I'm not gonna keep playing. I'm not gonna keep playing. And I only deal with federal records because it makes more sense. I'm not gonna sit up here and teach about stuff that I haven't studied on. I'm not the master in ancient history. There's other brothers who do that. I deal with the stuff that makes sense, real sense. Stuff I deal with information that really sticks. And a lot of it I deal with is updated government records. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest trigger, red flag is um updated documents from the 17th and 1800s, 16, 17 and 1800s. That's the biggest mistake in United States history. And it's very sad. And the more they update it today, the more hot water the educational system stands in. And that's a fact. The desperation to keep our history hidden. Oh, thanks, Red. That red is my favorite color too. And lavender. Um, the desperation to keep our history sustained from us as being the future generations. I mean, how many generations can somebody do the math from the 1600s, from when it was just 13 little colonies? And they weren't even started really in the 1600s. How many generations has it been since Plymouth Rock landed here in the colonial state of Massachusetts? Very long time. What was it? 14, what they're claiming or alleging? Because everything is alleged, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the writing and documentation of our history. You can't believe everything that's documented, but you can damn sure pick out the lies because some people just don't know how to lie. And that's one of the biggest problems with the United States government, its affiliates, its education instructors, its college professors, our people putting on suits, people that look like us putting on suits, lecturing, and call themselves representing our people who are not really our people, trying to hide our history. And the desperation, every day that goes by, the desperation gets so bad that when they try and update these documents from the antebellum period, that's where they're making their biggest mistake at. And the thing about it, they've already made the mistake because they updated documents. They're updating these documents now. And they're seeing, and they think they're geniuses in this. This is the funny thing. When they update these documents, their college education credentials as college professors, lecturers, and teachers is making them feel that they're genius when they do this. Yeah, these college professors, when they go back and update antebellum records, they think that they've done a genius thing because they forgot about the different types of generations that are here. The silent generation wasn't very good because a lot of our ancestors born in the 17 and 1800s, like our parents, they have them listed on the census sheet as can't read and can't write, but they could speak. But that's the silent generation. Let me just pull it up, because I'm going to let these geniuses see how much of geniuses they are not, and I think at this point today, many of these lecturers know that they messed up. The biggest thing they realize now, that the biggest thing they did in our history was not be truthful to us by going back, updating antebellum records, that are in the 1700s, 1600s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, going back and updating government records. And they should be charged with a crime for this. Going back, updating official documents. Where is the law that states that these college professors can go and change official government records and deem them as accurate? That's a crime. It is a crime to change information when legislators wrote law. It's a crime to change governmental transcripts during general assemblies. You can't change and update government transcripts from the 1700s. You can't do that. You're changing law and rhetoric from those times. College professors should be imprisoned right now for doing that. It is a crime to change government rhetoric and literature from legislators. Legislator in Congress is where the power is. And people with no power went in and changed legislative and congressional records. Do you understand this? Give me a 1. Any sitting judge knows this. There are 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. College professors went back and changed judicial decisions. They changed it. Do you understand that? I'm talking to you college professors all over the United States. You went back and changed judicial decisions. You changed information in judicial decisions. Oh, yes, you did. You can't change a judge's decision. That's the judicial branch. Do you understand what the judicial branch does? They interpret legislative law. And you college professors and appointed adjunct professors went back, pulled judicial decisions, and changed the wording in it. I'm going to tell you why, because we pulled a lot of the cases. I did. Yeah. Let me tell you what you did. No judge in history in the antebellum period, 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s, ever, early 1900s, and mid 1900s, never rendered a decision where they mentioned African American. None of the judicial systems across these 50 states ever rendered. No judge, whether it's at the local state level, superior, appellate, supreme, or at the federal level, ever rendered a decision discussing African Americans. Never. How did African American get inserted in a fucking antebellum court decision in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s? You fucked up. You changed the wording of an appointed judge's decision. You fucked up. You changed. Yeah. Tell you where else you messed up. You went around in the 50 states where the majority of the Indians remained, and you wasn't honest with the federal government when you were filling out the documents like the census. You lied to the government. Oh, you're going to say the government ordered you to do it, right? Is the government in trouble? You submitted reports and said that the Indians that remain were black people. You put that on a federal document instead of putting them as Indians. You put them down as black people. You lied to the government and said that the Indians that remained were black people. Does anybody see that as a horrible piece of misinformation? I'm writing all the errors and all the sabotization. We have it listed. You did so much to erase a real group of people instead of acknowledging the Indians that remain, that you expressed the law about, the Indians that remained. It didn't go to Oklahoma. You didn't tell the government who the Indians were that remained. Instead, you just put them down as black people. Why'd you do that? Because there were only black people and white people here. You know, the white people, the Dutch, the French, the Scots, the Brits, the Jews, the Italians. But let's back up. You didn't even have Italian listed as a race, so leave the Italians alone. You didn't even have Asians or Chinese or none of that. None of those identities were on census sheets during Indian Removal Act. Those identities didn't exist. So instead of being honest with the government, you superintendents, you list all the Indians that remained as black people. Why'd you do that? Let's go through exactly what you did. Smash that like button, y'all. This is a horrible thing that you've done to the Asian people. You have disrespected the Asian people. You did. You've did a disservice to the Asian people who were not in the areas east of the Mississippi. Shame on you. How could you make up a lie on Asian people and put them in an area of land that where they weren't? Shame on you, government. Shout out to the Asians who told the truth. Let's get with it, y'all. Y'all know Sister Bethy got slides. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, y'all. Let's go through this. Let's go through this. I'm using common sense. I don't play with African Americans and pan boo boos. Everything I put out keeps them in the casket. So today is Throw Up Caskets Days. So look up coffin, and every time we keep them, we kill them today. Just throw up caskets today. Caskets and fire. That's all I want to see in the chat room is caskets and fires, coffins and fire. We're going to bury these agent pan boo boos today. And we could keep burying them. I'm not ever going to let this go because it is choking them in there. They can't even breathe now. They can't breathe. So let's get into these slides, y'all. It's funny stuff. Howdy dowdy. From the beginning. All right, come on now. Let me make this little because I got to do the share screen. Y'all know I always have problems with this every time. Maybe it won't be so bad today. Can y'all see this? Give me a one if y'all can see this. Andrew Jackson did not enforce Asians off lands east of the Mississippi. All right. Every time we bury these pan boo boos, all I want to see is caskets and fire. Because going forward, just Sister Bethy is just going to keep them in the grave. And the reason why I keep coughing is not the cigarettes. My doctor had given me some medicine, which y'all know I don't take, for acid reflux. And one of the side effects is coughing. So I stopped taking that medicine. I get tired of coughing. That's what's doing it to me. So I had to stop. So let's go, y'all. Fires and caskets. Come on, why you're not changing? All right, maybe. All right. Andrew Jackson leads U.S. troops against forces during the Battle of New Orleans. Beautiful picture. Okay. Do y'all see black people in them British outfits? Give me a one if I need to put my glasses on, or if you see black people in British outfits. It's a beautiful picture, portrait. Give me a one if I'm seeing things, or if y'all see black people rolling with the British. Y'all see black people? Could y'all let me know if y'all see black people with the British? Is them niggas, Negroes? Is those Negroes straight? Damisha, girly girl. Are these Negroes? Jay Shaw. We're going to say the blue coats are the Union people. That supposedly be Andrew Jackson. Do you see any Asians in this portrait? Does anybody? Because see, we're going to stop telling lies on Asian people. They're going to stop lying, telling lies on Asian people. Let me know if you see. Give me caskets when the truth is revealed. Caskets. No Asians in this picture. Just white people and black people. Those black people, you looking at Southern Negroes, somebody's granddaddies. You say you can't see the eyes. I'm cracking up. Well, it wasn't, as you can see them as niggas in the back. So you ain't gonna see no slanted eyes. Can't touch this. Cause you can't. You can't touch this. Girly girl, Anthony, Jay, Damisha, straight smoke. Throw up some coffins. Peace and love, Dulcina. There are no Asians in this war or that marched with Andrew Jackson or the British. None. You better believe in them red coats, there ain't no Asians. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Now I could move on to the next slide. Thank you, Karma Sweets. All right. So we know who rode to the South with Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson leads United States troops against British forces. All right. And those United States troops ain't no Asians up in there. He had the praying Indians from the north. Those Indians that were able to be converted to Christianity marched with him. Somebody's granddaddy here in the north. Kahid could be your people. That walk with Andrew Jackson. Here we go. Here we go now. Okay. Enslaved soldiers and the battle. Let's see. We on the right one? Yep. Enslaved soldiers and the battle of New Orleans, the War of 1812, courtesy of the U.S. Army. They know who fought in them damn wars. It was free enslaved black United States soldiers fight alongside Choctaw tribesmen against British troops in New Orleans. Now, yo, listen to what the United States military is telling you. Free and enslaved black United States soldiers. So now I'm going to tell you, it's not hard to figure out who these black free and black enslaved soldiers are. Thank you, United States Army Center of Military History, for the truth. Now, the free blacks are the ones here in the North. Free blacks. Look at the date, 1812. And the enslaved blacks are the ones that are in the South that joined the Union. And because they're not on the reservation, a lot of them are. They fought alongside the Choctaw tribesmen against British troops in New Orleans. Can we now throw up the caskets? Because when you keep looking at that, you're going to understand it. I'm going to let you look at that green writing until you understand who is fighting. The remain blacks that remained, never left. This is before the Indian Removal Act now. Before, who do you think the free and enslaved black U.S. soldiers are? Think of black, free and enslaved black U.S. soldiers. Think about who they are for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. I think you thought about it long enough. Who are the free enslaved black, free and enslaved black United States soldiers. Who are they? Actually, it's not. It's because you don't know no better. The unbiased villain. So this is why you're not up here and 892 people ain't fucking with you. See, you think that there's a distinguishment between the Choctaw Indians and the free and enslaved blacks. That's because you don't fucking know. But I'm gonna leave you in there to hang like a little worm that wiggles when Sister Betty steps on their head. So you just sit in the chat room and keep wiggling. You gonna learn not to fuck with Sister Betty when it comes to research. So by at this point, you're obnoxious. So smash his stinking, ugly, gap tooth ass out of here, moderators. Get the unbiased villain out. Because a hit fucking dog hollers first. Smash his ass out of here. If you got a wrench, moderators, get him out. Get your funky ass out of here. Because every time my face comes on YouTube, it fucks you up bad. That's why you always jump really quickly. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You didn't even exist over here, Slav. Moderators, please use the wrench. Hello? Now your ass is gone. Free and enslaved black United States soldiers fight alongside Choctaw tribesmen against British troops. Yeah, he's gone. I got rid of his ass. So let's keep going, y'all, because he's so fucking stupid. Now you're just going to have to watch. Oh, checkmate. In this comment, free and enslaved black U.S. soldiers fight against Choctaw tribesmen against British troops in New Orleans. Is there any mentioning of the word Chinese or Asians in here? Thank you, Lady Moon. Thank you, sweetheart. Is there, this is the War of 1812. The U.S. Army distinctly pointed out who was in this bitch fighting. Is there any mentioning of any Asians, free and enslaved black U.S. soldiers alongside Choctaw tribesmen against British troops in New Orleans? Are there any mentioning of any Asians or Chinese in this war? Anyone with Asian ancestry? No. The military is telling you who fought in the War of 1812 against the British troops. Thank you. I will move along. Enslaved soldiers and the Battle of New Orleans, the War of 1812. unaware of the armistice negotiations between the United States and Britain in late December. Jackson and his band of free and enslaved black privateers and Choctaw tribesmen engaged the British in a number of armed battles over the course of several days. With freedom on their minds, the enslaved troops fought fiercely and strategically despite their limited training. Wow. The troops, those black troops, they fought fiercely and strategically despite their limited training. You ain't got to teach niggas how to fight. It's in the blood. Many died while others, like Roberts, suffered grave injuries. By war's end, the enslaved soldiers had aided in the decisive defeat of the British on January 8th, 1815, and proven their worthiness to the American Republic. Surely they had secured their freedom. Unfortunately, they had not. Oh, come on, let's go. Jackson not only ordered all black troops out of New Orleans at the behest of white residents who were fearful of armed black city dwellers. Let's go it again. Jackson not only ordered all black troops out of New Orleans at the behest of white residents who were fearful of armed black city dwellers. Yo. Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray. They scared of niggas with guns in the cities. They gonna come out their hoods and get us out. Get them out of here. We're scared of them. Big Willie, Chief Holiday, and Power A1. Y'all scaring the white folks in New Orleans, the old black city dwellers. Get them out of here. Oh, get them out of here. They're the black city dwellers. Top cat. Oh, y'all black city dwellers, get them out of here. White residents who were fearful of armed city dwellers. Yo. Now, y'all know, now this is the era, and this is why I love our era, the X generation, because the boomers are now laying down, putting the torch down. They only did the best they could do, which wasn't too good. But because this is the beautiful thing about it, we're able to pull out all the lies and shit. Because, see, the military was very clear who fought in the war. And I'm serious. Any Asian wars over here on the mainland was in the 1970s when niggas started watching Bruce Lee, and we bought our Chinese shoes, and we would do karate with each other in our hoods. We did that in Connecticut. Those was only the Asian wars with some black Indian niggas in the hoods running around with these damn shoes on. The ones in the front is for the girls, And the ones in the back is for the niggas. They wore them shits because you couldn't tell them nothing after Saturday matinee. I'm talking X generation babies. If you ain't no X generation babies, you got to sit back and let us big mamas come in here and drop the motherfucking Jews to you. Wasn't no motherfuckers wearing them in the war 1812. Nobody was wearing them in the war 1812. Niggas started wearing them shits in the 70s when I was little. I had every damn color. Don't play with me. In the 70s. Puerto Ricans was in the hoods with us. They asses wore them shits to school in the summer and the winter. Puerto Ricans, yes sir, buddy. In my hood, Puerto Ricans would put on a pair if they wanted to wear the motherfucker so bad. But they said, fuck that. We wearing these in the winter, 0 below. They put white sweat socks on with them bitches. Don't play with me. If there's one Puerto Rican in here who could attest to that, don't play with me. I will call you out. Puerto Ricans with afros in my hoods wore them shits in the summer, spring, and fall with a pair of white sweat socks. Get your laugh on to all my Generation X sisters and brothers. I'm not playing. Oh, my Spanish food is about to be delivered. Big Willie got it. Oh, yes, he do. I got some Spanish rice and beans. I'm a Boricua. And so you remember them damn shoes in the 70s. Them motherfuckers was popular. The only wars that went on American land when it consisted of Asians was niggas wearing their little shoes and thinking that they would, after Bruce Lee, every nigga in the hood had a pair of these bitches. Their grandma, grandpa, from birth, they even had them made for newborn babies when they came out. Little Chinese shoes. Elise, I know you had a pair of these shoes. I know, Bad Saint. I don't know how old you is. What generation is you in? David, I know your ass had a pair of these shoes in the back. Damn, Misha. I don't know. I forgot your generation, damn Misha. But did you have a pair of these shoes? If you had a pair of these shoes, in black, men and women, throw up some damn fire if you sported these shoes. And y'all Puerto Ricans, y'all better come out and tell the truth. Because I'll go back and get them pictures from the 70s when y'all wore them with them damn beige khakis. Don't play with me in our hoods. Those were the only Oriental wars, Asian wars going on in our hoods when niggas was wearing these with afros. Let's go. Yeah, I'll take my food now, baby. Don't play with me. In my hood when I was little, this is who had the little karate school for us. Don't play with me. Niggas was buying the full suits in our hood. You see it, Michael J. White was in our hood because he was my karate teacher. Don't hate. Tell me niggas didn't have this outfit on in the 70s running around. In the 70s. I dare you to say in all the 50 states, niggas wasn't walking around in the hoods with these little Chinese outfits on. Because we bought them from the Chinese people. The shoes, the outfit. After the Bruce Lee movie, some of us even wore our karate suit to the movies. theater. Because I went and knocked on Michael's door, and he gave me a suit because I was too poor to buy one. But my father had a whole bunch of them. And he gave me my first karate suit. And Michael, if you watch it, throw up some damn fire and tell me you don't remember me knocking on your door on Stone Ridge and you handed me a karate suit. I already had the Chinese shoes. I just needed a damn suit. Oh, straight smoke. He said, I was the last dragon. Oh, Michael's going to laugh when he watched this segment. Let's go, y'all. I'm telling you, these was the only Asian wars going on in our community or on the mainland. And those was niggas was running around in the 70s in these damn outfits. Thanks to the Chinese people. Now, hold up, y'all. I know I'm going slow, but we got to take it slow so that choke net slob that came in here, because I know I get to his bones. Shout out to all the Asians watching, for real, and sending me the truth of the records, because we about to fuck y'all up. They stand on coming from Asia. It's the United States that's lying on them. All right, let's go, y'all. All right, we're going back here. I know this is a whole damn hardcover book. If you look up in the far right, 1835, this is a hardcover book. Federal documents. I only fuck with federal documents. Let's go. By the superintendent for the 5 civilized tribes. I'm just going to keep going here, and it's going to keep making you mad. I'm going to let y'all read this because I know y'all can see it. This is in 1830. In 1830, just a year after taking office, Jackson pushed a new piece of legislation called the Indian Removal Act through both houses of Congress. See, we got a House of Congress now. We're in 1830. It gave the president power to negotiate removal treaties with Indian tribes living east of the Mississippi. Only people lived east of the Mississippi was Negroes and whites. Indians and whites. There were no Asians. We already killed that, y'all. Under these treaties, the Indians were to give up their lands east of the Mississippi in exchange for lands to the west. Switch and bait. All right? Those which to remain in the east would become citizens of their home state. So wherever your ass was east of the Mississippi, you Indians, those Indians that remain, you stay your ass there if you want to, if you don't want to go to Oklahoma, but you're going to be a citizen now. Because we're trying to switch your land and give you land in the West. The Indians said, fuck no, we ain't going nowhere. We staying right here. And those are the ones that remain. All we're talking about is black people and white people, because that's all that was here in 1814, 1858. Through this whole removal process. It wasn't nothing but niggas and white people. Give me a one. Give me a coffin so I know. I want to see coffins and fire in the chat so I know you understand this shit. Wasn't no Asians here in this shit. And Asian people will tell you, we were not in the lands and we were not removed from no states in the East. Any Asian will tell you that. They'll tell you that's a fucking lie. We was not there. You know, Andrew Jackson, we ain't know who that is. Now, those Indians that remain in here in the East Coast, they automatically became citizens of their home state. We only talk about white people and black people. I'm using modern day language. No Asians. No Asians. So now, we done did the war 1812, no Asians. We in the Indian Removal Act, no Asians being removed from the East Coast, where 50 Cent and all everybody, Mary J. Blige, me, no, just us Indians and white folks. This act affects not only the southeastern nations, but many others further north. The removal was supposed to be voluntarily and peaceful. And it was that way for the tribes that agreed to the conditions. But the southeastern nations resisted, and Jackson forced their asses to leave. Yep. I'm a prime example because they was at we didn't leave. They burned our ass right out of our house. South Kakalaki. Whole bunch of people went through that shit. Let's go, y'all. So now we know who the Indians that remained in all the 50 states. They was establishing its 50-state government whether the Indian didn't give a damn where the Indians lived. If we establish a state and your home happen to be in that area, you're going to be a citizen of that state. Stay in your little border to your little brown house. And we're going to send your ass a tax bill. Were the Indians that remain. And in that removal, there was an abuse of Indian blood. There was an abuse of Indian blood, baby. An abuse up to including this date. A fraction of Indian blood worth millions in business. Transit critics cite 164th Cherokee contractor as example of abuses. Laxity in program for minority firms. Now, I'm going to stop here and come back to the slides in a minute so you could see the abuse. I didn't say it was an abuse. This article did, and I'm about to go right to it. Let's go. Can y'all see this? No. Y'all, I'm going to read this article. Why is this not? Okay, here we go. I see y'all, babies. I'm about to read this article. My bad. I always do this when I get into the goddamn article shit. All right, let me get back over here where y'all at. All right, I'm about to go. Read this article. Smash that like button, y'all. Here's an article. I think what I'm going to have to do is totally put this down, which is going to help me share this article. Stop sharing for a minute and go back to sharing, because I want you to see this article, and I'm going to put this article in the chat for you. Here we go. I'll make it as big as I can. All right, here we go. Fraction of Indian blood worth millions in business. Transit. Critics cite 164th Cherokee contractor as example of abuses, laxity in program for minority firms. This is what white people been doing the whole time, y'all. Joining the Cherokee Nation has been worth millions of dollars in construction work to John McGrath, the blue-eyed, fair-skinned contractor from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who is 164th American Indian, has obtained $19 million in minority subcontracts on the rapid transit system in Los Angeles, more than any other disadvantaged firm. Yo, this article was written in 1990. McGrath, Cherokee ancestor, is the equivalent of having now let's count the greats, great, 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 great grandparent who was a full-blooded Indian. Yo, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 grannies back. 164th American Indian. Y'all know what that means? He was related to one nigger out of 60, and the rest was 63 white people. Drop a casket if you get it. That means he had one nigger he was related to, and the rest of the people was 64, 63 white people. That's it. 164th, yo. Get your laugh on. Such certification granted by the government agencies across the country made McGrath's company eligible for lucrative public works subcontracts meant for disadvantaged businesses. Yo. The McGrath case, critics say, is an example of how the federal goal of bringing minority contractors into the white-dominated construction industry is being subverted. The case also shows that Los Angeles transit officials sometimes are unaware of important regulations governing the certification of disadvantaged companies. The Times have found that firms with questionable minority status and companies serving as alleged fronts for non-minority businesses have won tens of millions of dollars in subcontracts on the rapid transit system under construction in Los Angeles. Thank you, Lady Moon. You're so sweet. McGrath's minority status has been repeatedly disputed by a Los Angeles area labor union. And now the prime contractor who gave McGrath millions of dollars in public works contracts is uncomfortable with the fact that McGrath is only 164th American Indian. What the? Yo, You can't make this shit up. This is an official document. It's out in public media. Yo. Let me tell you something. A lot of white people was pissed off with him doing this shit. Because they know he lied. And the government was right down with him. McGrath says, this is what his ass say. He is a bona fide minority entitled to contracts that he has obtained as the owner of a disadvantaged business enterprise. That dude went there and said he had one nigga granny or grandpa, and he got it. And he's claiming the minority blood. Yo, you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up, man. John Michael McGrath's claim of minority standing hinges on an unusual clause in the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. These white boys doing this shit, yo. Under the clause, anyone who can trace an ancestor to Cherokee tribe arose at the turn of the century can join the tribe. He fit the script because they was only letting white folks in as they describe him with his gray hair and all this bullshit. Thieves. I would be so embarrassed to know that you stole a piece of black blood that you never want to claim. Now, remember, these are the tribes that was pushed. This is in Oklahoma. These are the people that were pushed to Oklahoma during the Indian Removal Act. That's how they got established in Oklahoma. But us that remained, the majority of us remained. So the white people got together and said, we ain't agreeing with this damn government. And they all claimed a black granny, one black granny. Because all of them is either one. Oh, we going to go there, y'all. Let's keep reading. And those are the only ones they would let in. And they say, all the full bloods are dead. No, they're not. They all stayed and remained in the goddamn cities. McGrath, the son of a railroad contractor, joined the nation in 1981. So this dude jumps up in 1981 and says, hey, I got a black grandmother and one black lady or grandpa. Well, in this case, majority was with the woman. And the rest is 16 white people, 15 white people. One Negro out of 15 white people. Because there wasn't no Asians pushed to Oklahoma. We already cleared that up, y'all. It was just white folks and black folks. So that means there was one Negro and 15 goddamn white people. I'm done. Let's keep going. This shit is hilarious. Asked why he had joined the tribe at that time, McGrath replied, check this out. That was a turning point in my life. It was time to start being responsible. Get your fucking laugh on right now. Yo. He went and found that he had one black granny or grandpa and said, it was a turning point in my life. I had to admit that I had one black granny or grandpa. So it was time for me to be responsible. When McGrath joined the Cherokee Nation, he was vice president. Yo, I'm done. And 25% owner of Railroad Contractors, Inc., which that year had applied for certification as a minority firm. Because he had one black granny, he got a right to apply as a minority firm. A black granny he never met, never knew, or nothing. He wasn't even born when she was alive or died. According to Oklahoma State Department of Transportation records. It is unclear what happened to, listen, y'all, this shit. It is unclear what happened to that application for minority certification. But 3.5 years later, in November 1984, the McGrath Construction Company was formed with John McGrath as president. The company was subsequently certified as a minority firm by public works agencies across the country. These certifications made McGrath eligible to receive minority subcontracts from large minority prime contractors that bid on public works jobs. Federal regulations require that prime contractors seeking public works contracts make good faith efforts to hire minority firms as subcontractors. Yo, during the last 6 years, Herzog Contracting Corp. Of St. Joseph, Missouri, has used McGrath Construction Corp. As a minority subcontractor on public work jobs in Los Angeles County, San Diego County, Santa Clara County, Sacramento, Portland, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Texas. Herzog was awarded a total of more than $180 million, and McGrath was awarded $28.6 million in minority subcontracts public works show. McGrath, whose business headquarters is a trailer on a weedy lot near downtown Tulsa, said Herzog teamed up with this company because they like our work. The relationship allowed McGrath's business to rise virtually overnight from small rail jobs in Oklahoma worth less than $100,000 each to public work jobs worth 10 to 100 times that amount. In March 1987, McGrath was awarded his first subcontract on Los Angeles Transit System, a $13 million construction job on Blue Line. Herzog, the prime contractor on that job, received $43.9 million. The companies also worked together on 2 other Blue Line contracts. Now, after a 6-year relationship, Herzog would like to sever its ties with the smaller company because of the great suspicion caused by the union challenges to McGrath's claim to being Cherokee, according to the Herzog attorney, George Kuiper. You know, they lying there. See, white people gets white people now. You lying. You ain't no goddamn Indian. That's all they do, yo. Give me some ones if y'all are seeing the fuckery in this shit. Hey, Chief Holiday, yo, bruh. If you listening, bruh, you been in touch with the McGraths out there with that construction work, bruh? Herzog, the attorney said, has become uncomfortable with the fact that McGrath is only 1/64th Indian. Kuiper said Herzog is attempting to subcontract with Black and Latino owned firms. Yo, you can't make this shit up. Yo, wait a minute. Yo. Yo, listen, y'all. Y'all got to know how white people work, man. Mm, listen. Conference said Herzog is attempting to subcontract with black and Latino owned firms. Yo, white people did this shit or do this shit to try to let the arrogant minded nigga know this is what you should have been doing in the beginning. But we wasn't getting it because what they didn't understand at that time was the people that was representing us was not communicating this to us. They much rather have Christianity control over us. This is in fucking 1987, y'all. Ooh, think about the politicians that was in power. Jesse Jackson's dusty ass, Al Sharpton, all them motherfuckers, and all these ministers, the Black Caucus. So white guy stood up, all right, y'all niggas won't do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking jump up and fake I'm like one of y'all and relate to one of y'all, and I'm going to do this shit. Because they know the churches and our leaders wasn't telling us this shit. All right, y'all, we're going to keep going. This controversy over McGrath's status as a Cherokee has put a severe strain on our relationship, said Al Landis, Western States Vice President of Herzog. We almost can't afford to use John. The International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 12, has repeatedly complained that McGrath acts on as a front to enable Herzog to obtain contract. Yo, y'all better throw up some goddamn fire with the little front man. All right. Wait a minute. Let me stop this for a minute. Because I'm eating. Hold up, y'all. I'm going to go right back to that document. Look. Because I got to stop here. Hold up. I'm eating some Spanish rice right now. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to turn my camera on. You got to put yourself, when you're reading, you know you got to put yourself back in that time and be sitting like a fly on the wall. Eavesdropping on. See, our parents back in that time were our parents of those that were born in the 40s and the 30s, who would be our grandmas. Okay? This whole shit that went down back then, in the 80s. White boys wanted to work, yo. But they knew niggas wasn't educated to go and start these firms and claiming our shit. So that this whole story is telling you a whole fucking history story. White boy said, fuck it, I'm going to go say I got black grandmother so we can get these damn jobs. Because if they could have done it earlier, they would have. You needed the Negro to do this shit, but we wasn't educated to do it. We wasn't educated on how the system was operating. We didn't know to go and do this as the Indians that remain. Do y'all understand this? And do y'all understand how our ancestors, who would be my mom, okay, being born in the 40s, and my grandmother being born in the 30s, and my great grandma being born in the very early 1900s, they didn't know shit about how to establish and do this shit. This is a prime example of you've been bamboozled. That's what that means, because you didn't know. You didn't know to start. All you knew was if those programs were started or if that business was started, just go apply for the job. So the white guy said, you know what? Fuck you, brother, nigga. I'm going to say that your grandmother's related to me and I'm going to open this shit up. And that's exactly what he did. Don't you think if they could have bended this shit, they would have bended it to the point where they got to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm about to go say I got black grandmother and I'm going to get this motherfucking money. That motherfucker got 19 million. I ain't even mad at the white boy at this point because he said, fuck it, my family need a life. That's why they say niggas is stupid and niggas don't read. This is what this is all about. We was doing our own shit in our inner cities. We wasn't fucking with the government like this. So the white boy is like, man, fuck it. My grandmother black. I ain't playing. With his eyes, and blonde hair and eyes. White boy was like, fuck it. My grandmother's black. And I it's time for me to take responsibility. And what did he say? And be more responsible. Because niggas wasn't being responsible. So he went in there and said, I'm a little nigga baby. Give me a contract. Fuck Pookie and Ray Ray ass. They won't do it. With his gray, how they described him, he had blue eyes. He went and said, fuck Pookie. My grandmother, black lady. I want my rights. I ain't even mad at white boy for doing this. I'm not. He said, fuck that. Y'all niggas don't know what to do. I'm going to do it for you. All right, y'all. Let me get back because I'm sorry. I just find that fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. Oh, God. It's funny and not funny, but it's the motherfucking truth. Let's finish. McGrath and Herzog deny the accusation and attribute it to the union's anger over the refusal of the companies to hire union workers in Los Angeles. So now the union said, this motherfucker grew up in the playground with me over in Ireland. He came over here and said that his granny was black, and now he gonna work with the Negroes and and Puerto Ricans. And now he don't want to hire us union workers. Yo, this is a whole fucking story. Because why? Now, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this. And you got to understand this. You got to catch this shit. This dude, the union said that he gonna start working with black-owned construction companies and Puerto Rican construction companies. And he ain't gonna hire the union workers. That right there is telling you who the fucking Indian is. Because he gonna only work with the Indian people. That's clear right in your face. Because why would the union feel that he's only going to work with black-owned construction companies and Puerto Ricans? Please tell me, why would the union make that statement instead of hiring us union workers? But literally, dude has said, yo, he ain't gonna hire nobody. He gonna start just working with black people and Puerto Ricans. Construction, and they gonna work with us union workers. Yo, why would they think that this guy is only gonna work with niggas? And he included the Puerto Ricans, because they Negroes too. He included the Puerto Ricans. This is in 87. Because they know that in order for him to claim to be Cherokee, to get on the motherfucking rolls, he had to say he had a motherfucking black granny or grandpa. Because that's how you become 164th. And I lying. How do you become one? Look, don't play with me. He went there and said, fuck it, I'm going there. I'm a Cherokee, and my granny, this motherfucker 164th. I'm not. Mm. That's the only way, because the union knew this motherfucker white. He went up there and said that he had a nigga granny. I can hear them now arguing about this shit. He went in there and said he had a nigga granny, and now he gonna be working with the black folks. He ain't gonna give us no contract. He gonna work with blacks and Puerto Ricans now. Just throw the Puerto Ricans in there. Yo, I can't. So real. Let's finish it out, y'all. Oh man. Oh, this shit is funny because in '87 I was still young. I was like 21, maybe. Let me see, 21. Agencies such as the Transportation Commission are authorized under federal regulations to require a contractor whose minority status has been challenged to present evidence of being the victim of social and economic disadvantages. A federal regulation contained in County Transportation Commission guide states the individual's social disadvantage must be chronic, long-standing, and substantial, not fleeting or insignificant. The individual's social disadvantage must have negatively affected his or her entry into and or advancement in the business world. Now, but County Transportation Commission officials did not require McGrath to present such evidence and instead accepted documentation that the contractor is 164th Indian and a member of the Cherokee Nation as proof of his disadvantaged minority status. Now, let me tell you something. Now, we're going back to the 80s when I was 21. And you got to look at the Solomon of this shit, man. White boy knew that coloreds, Negroes, blacks didn't know. It's like they're standing there going like this. Y'all ever see Charlie Brown when him and Peppermint Patty's trying to sleep at night and they're going like this and going there at the beginning of the bed, at the top of the bed, at the bottom of the bed, trying to sleep? Y'all ever see that episode? Even Limas with the rag, they try to find a comfortable sleeping spot and they can't. Well, this is how the white boy was when niggas was just sitting there and not going to, put in claims for minority status because we didn't know. When we tell you that they did a fucking job on us, we didn't know to go and apply for this kind of shit, let alone start the family tribes as the nonprofits. We didn't really know. And white people were learning, oh my God, they really don't know. They really weren't educated. They don't know to go in there to complain how they're being disadvantaged. They don't know that they could literally claim the Cherokee status because that's who the fuck they are. And they don't know. So much time has gone by since the brainwashing of our people in the school system. They forgot who the fuck they were. So did we ever in a million years think that we Cherokee, we being treated fucked up? Because on their paper, when they was doing the census, put us down as the blacks in the community, it didn't make a motherfucking difference. You still was the Cherokee that remained, but you ain't know that. You will always be that nigga Cherokee, that nigga Choctaw, that nigga Chickasaw, that nigga everything that was supposed to take his black ass to Oklahoma. And that's why that they continuously are the way they are to us in these here 50 states. We was all supposed to smush up in Oklahoma like sardines and not be here. This is why we're still getting treated the way we are from way back in that time. Give me a one. This shit is deep. And the hate is deep. They never wanted us in their areas when they got the 50 states. Go to fucking Oklahoma. This treatment has been like that since way back. You're talking back to 1830, y'all. That's why they made that law for minorities so we can have the businesses and all this stuff. You see, all of that came out around the same time as that. So the white guy doing the sleeping like Charlie Brown and them, is this fucking guy gonna do anything? Fuck it, I'm going to claim to be your granny. My granny's on a goddamn rose. A lot of them didn't do it to be despiteful. A lot of them did it as really, some of them did it as a helping hand to boost our people, because right away the union said they only gonna fucking work with black people in Puerto Rico. But they put, not only did they put their own life at risk for jumping up claiming to be one of us, they didn't give a fuck at that point. White boy was like, fuck, I don't care what it's gonna cost me. I'll be a nigga today to get that 19 million. Fuck it. They don't want it. I'm coming to get it. See, my colleagues, as you're watching me, I know I sound vulgar, but I'm vibing with my community, and this is the way they understand it. This is the part where I'm telling my audience that and explaining it and breaking it down even more to my audience from a hood's perspective in a way that we all understand it and we all across the 50 states can relate as brown people. But I know you get that. So salute to y'all too. Let's go, y'all. Let's just keep going. I don't think there's that much more left, but I don't know. I like this article. It's being continually reasserted by the Cherokee Nation that McGrath is a member of the Cherokee Nation. And they backing him up because they know their ass is going to get some money out the millions. And we accept that, said Leslie Porter, Deputy Executive Director of the Financial and Administrative Services for the Transportation Commission. Asked about federal regulations requiring proof of chronic disadvantage when a minority firm is challenged, Porter said, I'm not familiar with that. When the commission failed to require McGrath to prove that he was disadvantaged, the union forwarded its complaint to the federal authorities. In 1988, this is when your ass became a black and African American, the U.S. Department of Transportation ordered state transportation officials in Oklahoma to hold a hearing on McGrath's status as a minority contractor. 3 witnesses, see, he got to have his shit backed up. 3 witnesses testified for McGrath at the hearing held September 13, 1988. No one appeared in the opposition to McGrath. John Richardson, who operated the labor research group, said he does not recall being notified of the hearing. Norman Hill, general counsel for the Oklahoma State Department of Transportation, said Richardson probably was not notified because state officials did not know the identity of the complainant. Yo, this shit is crazy, yo. McGrath testified at the hearing that he had considered himself a Cherokee since he was a child. And as proof, He said he remembered raising his hand in the 6th grade when the teacher asked how many of the students were Indian. Yo, y'all hear this shit, right? He testified that since his childhood, he had attended Indian events such as powwows, which are open to the public, so anybody could go. He also said he joined several Indian business organizations as an adult and received the Minority Enterprise Development Award in '86. McGrath's testimony did not relate any instances of discrimination or disadvantages, except his assertion that other businessmen were occasionally reluctant to advance him funds or supplies when they learned his company was categorized as a minority firm. They were trying to give Indian niggas shit. Asked if any competitors made him a discriminatory marks, McGrath answered, yes, they have. On one occasion, a gentleman made a comment that I was about as much Indian as a particular part of his anatomy. He talked about his dick. yo, 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 yo. No, you ain't no damn nigga. You just about as much Indian as my dick. Yo, I'm telling you, white people crazy. Yo, wait a minute, y'all. Yo, I can't with these people. I can't do it, y'all. Hold on. All right. Okay. Oh God. All right, let me read it again. I had to compose myself. Asked if any competitors had made discriminatory remarks, McGrath answered, yes, they have. On one occasion, a gentleman made a comment that I was about as much Indian as a particular part of his anatomy. Talking about his wee wee. Robert Lee Fleming, Register of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, testified that McGrath joined the tribe in 1981. Why you ain't joining at birth, nigga? And had requested an absentee ballot to vote in a tribal election in 1987. Finally, Gary Miles Victor, who identified himself as Osage and Choctaw, testified that he had known John McGrath's father since 1956 and that the elder McGrath was proud of his Cherokee background. When you say Cherokee background, you better believe you say nigga background. Victor said that he had been out of state when John McGrath was growing up, but that he had subsequently seen the young man at powwows and that McGrath was active in the Native American Chamber of Commerce. Yo. The Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma submitted a legal brief supporting McGrath's claim to be an Indian, arguing that the tribe alone has the authority to decide who is a Cherokee. See this shit, y'all? State hearing officers ruled on October 14, 1988, that John McGrath qualified as a disadvantaged minority subcontract. John McGrath was known among his schoolmates as far back as grade school as having Native American lineage. Hearing officers found John McGrath has publicly acknowledged his Cherokee heritage since at least 6th grade. But if John McGrath considered himself a Cherokee since childhood, he apparently kept the fact from some people who were very close to him. The times found. Ray and Beatrice Hardacre live on one side of the white frame house in which John McGrath grew up in Tulsa. Bill and Hertha Beatty live on the other side. Both elderly couples now know the McGrath family well. We just love the kids, Hertha Beatty said of John and his brother. We kept the kids when their mother was sick. Both couples said they were unaware of McGrath's claim of being Indian. McGrath said in response, "We are Indian." John Richter Jr. of Tulsa says that he had been a close friend of John McGrath since the two were in about the ninth grade. They played baseball together, roomed together in college, and belonged to the same fraternity. After asked if McGrath ever preferred himself as an Indian, Rarick said he vaguely recalled McGrath saying something about a relative being Indian. Yo, he seemed to like the idea of being classified as an Irishman, said Wyrick when asked if McGrath identified with an ethnic group. I have no reaction, McGrath responded. He said, ow. The question of whether a person of John McGrath's background should be awarded public work jobs as an Indian subculture receives mixed responses from Native American organizations. For some, it is a question of Indian self-determination. If the Cherokee say someone is Cherokee, that really has to be accepted by public and private entities, said Stephen Stallings, president of the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development in El Monte. For others, it is just one or more example of whites exploiting Indians. So if whites are exploiting Indians, all right, who is the Indian? Indians ain't nobody over here but niggas and whites. I tell you, another example of whites exploiting Indians. You know what? And who do you think them Indians are? We done went through the wars and everything. You can't make this shit up. Dude sitting up there lying his ass off. All right, let's get it. All right. Other words of whites exploiting Indians. I really do resent the fact that this man or any man is playing with a little drop of Indian blood for his own benefit, said Evelyn Stevens, executive director of the federally funded Oklahoma Tribal Assistance Program in Tulsa. McGrath completed his jobs on the Blue Line and went to work for Herzog as a minority subcontractor in other parts of the country, including Baltimore and D.C., Washington. Minority identification. Copies of identification cards showing that John McGrath is 164th Indian and a member of the Cherokee Nation are on file with the Los Angeles County Transportation Commission as documentation that the Tulsa Railroad builder is a disadvantaged minority businessman. McGrath Construction Corp has gained more than $19 million worth of minority contracts on the rapid transit system under construction in Los Angeles, more than any other so-called disadvantaged firm has received. McGrath's status as a minority group member was challenged by a union in 1987, but the Transportation Commission never required McGrath to show that he was the victim of chronic social disadvantage as called for by federal regulations. The commission instead accepted McGrath's membership in the Cherokee Nation as proof he is a minority group member and eligible for contracts meant for disadvantaged firms. All right, that's the end of that article. I am going to copy this and give it to you in the chat. Thank you so much for the stickers, Rodney. You're so sweet, y'all. I really appreciate it. Come on now, get it. Here's this article. Y'all keep it and read it. Shit is funny. You find other twisted shit that as a people you could see like, oh my God. But because we weren't into reading heavy back in them days and we wasn't in the understanding of our identity because we've been so traumatized and so lied to, When will we ever think of to read something like this and see the fuckery in it? They're telling you it's the union's telling us another exploitation of whites exploiting Indians. That's a fact, yo. For real, for real. It's a fact. If you're white and you're exploiting Indians, Indians is niggas. And that's a fact. Leave the Asian people alone. Stop saying the Asians are Indians. They're not. They're from Asia. Now, we gonna go move on. Hey yo, yeah, don't be scared to hit the Cash App. For real, for real. Also, give me some fire if y'all see this shit real good now. Now that you're more into studying your history that's been so hidden from you. Reading that now and having a much stronger and better understanding of our history. Give me fire and caskets. You can understand that now. Back then, our parents didn't have that option. They didn't have the options we have. If you're saying whites exploited Indians, we're the only ones here for them to exploit. There's no other race here. We've always been the Indians, babies. Y'all gotta understand that. We the ones that remain. You didn't go to Oklahoma, baby. And a lot of the United States people was real nasty towards the Cherokee or the five civilized tribes because a lot of them know that they were their colleagues that was lying and they went over there to claim to be have black blood. So they said, "You want to be like niggas? We're gonna treat you like them," and they were real mean to them. Do y'all understand that shit right there? I just told you. All right, you want to be like the niggas, saying that you get this shit so you can get more money. You gonna steal their identity and be a nigga? Fine, we're gonna treat you. Remember, you claiming to be a nigga, so now we're gonna treat you like one. That's why they went in on Elizabeth Warren when she was lying. She know the tribes lie too. That's why she did that shit. To exploit their asses, saying, "Oh, well, I'm Jerry." All the whites ever dealt with on this landmass here, mainland, was niggas. If you want to use modern day language, all white folks ever dealt with was whites, was black people. Nobody else. Because if you ain't white, you black. You ain't nothing else. Not in that time. All right, y'all. Let's get back to this slide. Okay, we're on here. This is the article we read. All right, good. I'm just getting back to where we were, honey. All right, now we was right here. Here we go. Here we go. Back to this article. There we go. So we're just gonna read a little bit about the Civil War because a lot of this helps. American Civil War, 4-year war, 1861 to 65, between the United States and 11 southern states that seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. The secession of the southern states in chronological order: South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Kakalaki. In 1860-61, and the ensuing outbreak of armed hostilities were the culmination of decades of growing sectional friction over slavery. Between 1815 and 1861, the economy of the northern states was rapidly modernizing and diversifying. Although agriculture, mostly smaller farms that relied on free labor, remained the dominant sector in the North, industrialization had taken root there. Northerners had invested heavily in the expansive and varied transportation system that included canals, roads, steamboats, and railroads, and financial industries such as banking and insurance, and in a large communications network that featured inexpensive, widely available newspapers, magazines, and books, along with the telegraph. By the contrast, the Southern economy was based principally on large farms, plantations. Okay, farms are plantations. Do you understand that? That produce commercial crops such as cotton, and that relied on slaves as the main labor force, rather than invest in the factories or railroads as Northerners had done. Southerners invested their money in slaves, even more than inland. By 1860, 84% of the capital invested in manufacturing was invested in the free, non-slave holding states. Yet to the Southerners, as late as 1860, this appeared to be the sound business decision. All right, I'm telling you, in those states at that time, there were no Asians. It's niggas and white people. And on those dates and those years, we had census sheets, baby. And have nothing to do, nothing to do with whites owning blacks. Although some of us moved up and was cool with them and lived on their lands and shit, it ain't the ugly story I like to tell you. Now, question. And speaking of quantum, why is none of this blood referring to Asians? On the reservations, y'all. Or in the definitions of any of our books, yo. Mulatto. A person that is offspring of negress by a white man or a white woman by a Negro. Noah Webster. That's how they see a mulatto. Black and white. Mulatto in the Oxford Dictionary. A person mixed white and black ancestry, especially a person with one white and one black parent. Yo, still just black people and white people. No Asians. Now we don't win in Noah Webster and Oxford. Now we going in the quadroons. In Spanish America, the offspring of a mulatto woman and a white man, a person quarter blooded. That means 1/4 blood. That's Noah Webster. No Asian person mentioned yet. Quadroon, a person who is 1/4 black by descent. Yo, that's Oxford. Still talking about black folks and white folks. That's how he was able to go get that. No, he went and got it on another percentage, 164. Octoroon, a person who is 1/8 black by descent. Yo, still no Chinese people. But if you're white and you got you got 1/8 black descent, that means when one person in your family black, okay, you a quadroon, you a octoroon, because you 1/8. But if you got 1/4, you got 1 out of 4 people. Oh, you a quadroon. A quintroon is the offspring of an octoroon and a white person. Now, an octoroon is 1/8. 1/8 black by descent. So now, A white man gonna do the nasty with that octoroon, and you become a quintroon. The baby that's birth is a quintroon. I'm fucking done. Still no Chinese people, no Asians. Leave the Chinese and Asian people alone. Ain't got nothing to do. Indian. This is the Indian blood, yo. I keep telling y'all. I'm just gonna stop. We already know about this. We done did quadroons and prodroons. We don't need to even look at this no more. Now, here's my question of bust your ass. If these was Asians, if Cherokee Nation, Chickasaw, the five tribes was these Asian people that y'all talking about, okay, you mean to tell me niggas only spoke Asian languages on the motherfucking plantation? I'm the morning thunder. Yeah. Telling me, and you wrote it in your book, that niggas speak nothing but Indian language, and you're trying to say that they're Asians, that these Asian looking people are Indian. So what you're saying is niggas ain't spoke nothing but Indian. You saying they spoke Asian languages or niggas? You saying Negroes spoke nothing but Indian languages on the reservation. So are you saying, because you're trying to make these Asian people the Indians, you're saying all the niggas spoke Chinese languages? You telling a fucking lie. I'm going to tell you why you're lying. Because every time I go into Chinese, if they don't have them goddamn menus numbered, it's going to be a hot mess. I go in there, order number 1. And I ain't speaking no damn English. I'm going by the numbers on the calendar. I don't know what all the checks and squares and all that other stuff mean. And I'm ordering it in English language. Can I please have or order a pork fried rice and chicken wings? So you saying all the niggas on the reservation spoke Indian languages. So you trying to, and because you trying to make these Asian looking people the Indians, you saying niggas spoke Chinese when niggas can't even walk in a restaurant and order motherfucking food. I'm not playing. This is the we're in the era. We X generations. We are in the era where, our minds are sharp and we can think critically. That was something that our ancestors didn't have an option with when it came to working with um, um, Europeans. Our critical thinking wasn't up to their standards. But today, going through the public education system and then through their indoctrinating colleges and universities, the more education we fed ourselves as X generation women and men, it strengthened our critical thinking. And to read this and critically think about what this report tells us, just reading the one sentence alone, Negroes are frequently met who speak nothing but Indian languages and are Indians by tribal law and custom. Okay. And the picture that society continues to throw in our face of people that they replace with our identity, meaning that these were the Oklahoma people that look like this. So all the niggers spoke Indian languages, and these are the Indians. So you're telling me that we spoke Chinese language. That's a damn shame. But had we not studied our history more, we wouldn't be where we are today and understanding this and seeing what this government did to us. A lot of our ancestors knew what the government did to them. Like Martin Luther King, they knew, but they were in on the game hurting us too, you guys. Whether they were or not, or when they found out it was too late, of the exhalation in our own land. All right? When no niggas speaking Chinese on them damn reservation. That's what you got to know. They wasn't speaking no Asian languages on the reservations. But that's all we spoke was Indian languages because the language we were speaking was our language, which they call Indian language. All right, let's go. The tribal systems have used this degree of blood, these evil people that went and stole the identity of the original ancestors. This is where you see on the Dawes Rolls. It's crazy. It's insane. 132. What you see in the front, the number in the front, where you see the very first one at the top, 132, that means there's one Negro and the rest are 32 white people. The number in the front is always the number of Negroes. Nine out of 32. Nine black people out of 32 white people are in the family. That's what that means. And this is how you claim the Indian blood. And it's stolen. There are many 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 132s, and 164s that are running the tribe, keeping out the full blood. You don't believe me? Look, this is the Dawes Rolls. When you see 1/4, start from the top. Blood quantum 1/4, 132, 164, 3/8, 1/8, 1/16. That's all white people who have taken on the identities of the Negroes that were pushed to Oklahoma. That's how they did it. They went there, I got a granny. And that would be the end of that slide. I've read the articles. You don't believe me? I mean, honestly, you guys, here they are right here. Blow them up some more. This is what they did. That's the tactic they used. That's the same tactic that the white guy used to get the minority status, to get that law, that construction company. They knew what to do because they knew we didn't know. So this is what they did. They claimed all these identities. They claimed it. They knew what to do because we didn't go there and do it. We remained on the land, and this is what happened. It's probably the most one one of the most evil things in history that the United States government collided with and did to us. It's a very evil thing, and they still would stand on it. But, you know, we as a people are not going to make a civil war. What happens to people who hold and stand on our lineage, including the government, individual by individual, you have to let the evil come back on them because a real person that has a real heart, whether they're white, whether they're black, it doesn't matter. A person that has a real heart is going to jump up and say, I've had enough of this. If this is what my ancestors done to a people, and we go year in and year out and do this to this people, it's need to stop. I'm embarrassed by my ancestors' behaviors. If we're known to have taken partake in this, that horrible, horrible luck is going to come on these individuals now. And you know why it's going to come on them? We're not going to have to do nothing, because all it took for the karma to take place on these evil people that know our truth, all it took in order for the karma to work on these people in this government across these states, all it took and needed to take place is for us to wake up and know the truth. And now we know the truth. We have, as a people, have to remain civil and allow the karma to come back on them, and it will be devastating. The more they struggle to hold on to be evil to us, stealing our identities, keeping us in poverty, and not allowing us to be who we want to be and be the successful people we want to be, by making us hide under black, Negro, colored, mulatto, all these race identities. So now we know, you guys, we don't have to make threats to the United States, their government, the people who are responsible for stealing our identity. We don't have to make threats to them, because natural shit happen. You have your natural shit that happens, and you have your unnatural shit that happens. Unnatural is blowing people out of land that are innocent. We don't want to do that. Natural is how nature deals with you as a people. The longer you continue to be ugly and hide our history and lie about our history, and allow other people that look like us direct us on who our history is. And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't need no fucking Jamaicans telling my story, because I'm not them as far as I'm concerned. I'm telling you, every tongue and eye and hand that's involved about our life will be affected naturally by what the natural way of things that happen. And when something repeatedly comes upon you, they finally give up and say, I can't do it anymore. I can't live like this anymore. That's nature taking a toll on their mind, their sleep, their everything. Nature does that. It takes away their ability to sleep, to rest, to breathe. So never, ever, ever make any threats to anybody. You don't have to. Natural nature will take care of that itself. We must remain to be humble people as the true Indians of this land. We must remain to be humble as a people. Don't curse anybody. Don't curse the people in power over us. Let what's naturally going to happen to them happen. After a while, you know how this works. Nobody likes to suffer insomnia. Their only cure is going to be to stand on our truth. They'll get enough of natural occurrences, natural revenge. Natural revenge is letting shit play out the way it's supposed to. And all you have to do is sit back and watch the whole story. Because after a while, even the devil gets tired of being tired. So Just stand back and watch, you guys. I'm gonna open up the link, and I would really like to hear your thoughts about today's segment. Wow, we've been on for 2 hours, but I had fun doing it. I really like to hear about today's segment, what your thoughts are. I'll put the link in the chat for you to pop up and join me and talk about it. And I'll just wait here for you to come up. Oh, where is it? Hey, my loves. All right. So, okay, I see no one has any questions or anything or don't want to break into a discussion, and that's fine. And Rodney, thank you so much for all those highlighted messages. I appreciate it. And anyone that supports the channel, I appreciate you as well. I will continue to bring history the way I understand it from a legal perspective and from an injustice perspective. I'm going to share with you my way. Everybody has their own way and their own story. Me, I tend to mess with the documents that harmed us and show otherwise. I am not into religion. I am not into all these other extraterrestrial things in life. I'm just straight to get into the facts. I'm ADD and I don't got the fucking patience for the bullshit. I got to just drop it like it's hot so you could see it and make sure you see it and make sure you understand it from a legal, governmental perspective. And when I say illegal government perspective, it's because it's their paperwork that I'm fucking with. Last night's create your family level 2 of establishing your family tribe was a really great class last night and segment lesson. And I look forward to this Saturday. It's every level 2 is every Saturday. I'm sorry for the people I didn't let in, but you didn't come in on time. And I distinctly told you what time to hit the link. You wouldn't listen. So it's going to be like that until you guys really listen. You don't listen and you don't read. You were supposed to be in there. If you are in the California area, West Coast, you were supposed to hit that link at 3 o'clock your time. If you were in the Midwest, which is Ohio or anywhere in the Midwest, you were supposed to hit that link at 5. And if you're on the East Coast, you were supposed to hit that link at 6. So guess what? We'll come back Saturday. If you're not in there by 10 minutes after the hour, I don't let you in. I don't take excuses. And I take my segments and spending time with people in these Zoom educational courses very serious, just because it's a part of my life that I'm donating to you. And if you can't respect me enough to be on time and get proper equipment that keeps you in the meeting, then I suggest you just come when you're in a much better position to attend. Until then, I truly love you guys. Everybody watching, it's like 1,100 people up in here. And I really appreciate everybody spending time with me today. But I'm going to get on up out of here because I'm tired. Not tired. I just want to kick back. I love y'all. And you know what it be like. It is what it is. Until then, see y'all.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense, but nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even now my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love.